Welcome to Chanel. The latest. Russia launched a new wave of drones at Ukraine, most of which were shot down, as fighters from Russia's Wagner paramilitary organization pressed their slow and grinding advance into the eastern city of Bakhmut. Ukrainian air defenses shot down 13 out of the 15 Iranian-made Shahed 136 drones that flew toward Ukrainian cities overnight, the country's air force said Monday. It didn't specify what the remaining 2 drones hit, but there were no reports of disruption to infrastructure. Russia, which has sought to destroy Ukraine's electricity network with waves of missile and drone attacks since October, has reduced the tempo of such strikes in recent weeks as it has begun to exhaust its stockpile of ammunition and as Ukraine has deployed new, Western-provided air defenses. Ukraine hasn't suffered widespread blackouts for a consecutive 23 days now, according to national grid operator Ukrenergo. On the front lines in Bakhmut, the eastern city that Wagner has been attacking since July, Ukrainian troops have completed their withdrawal from the roughly one-third of the city's area that sits on the eastern bank of the Bakhmutka River, soldiers said. Ukrainian forces, for now at least, are concentrating on holding the central and western parts of the city, with easily defensible positions in industrial areas and a warren of high-rise apartment blocks there. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said he discussed the future of Bakhmut at Monday's meeting of the country's top security leadership. Both General Valery Zaluzhny, the commander of Ukraine's armed forces, and Col General Alexander Syrsky, the commander of Ukrainian land forces who oversees operations in eastern Ukraine, spoke in favor of continuing the defensive operation and further strengthening of our positions in Bakhmut, he said. Mr. Zelensky has come under growing pressure to withdraw from Bakhmut so as to avoid an encirclement and to preserve troops for future operations. U.S. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin, while traveling with reporters in Amman, Jordan, said Monday that should Ukrainian forces reposition around Bakhmut, that won't necessarily mean that the Russians have changed the tide of this fight. I think it's more of a symbolic value than it is strategic and operational value, the defense chief said of the months-long battle. Mr. Austin said he was making no predictions about the outcome of the battle for Bakhmut. The heaviest fighting has been raging for the 2 main supply roads into Bakhmut, with Ukrainian forces launching counter-offensives to protect traffic from anti-tank guided missiles. One of the parts of Bakhmut now controlled by Wagner includes the city's famous winery. Wagner owner Yevgeny Prigozhin on Monday released a video in which he is seen mockingly shipping a truckload of Bakhmut wine to Ukrainian women, as a gift for International Women's Day on March 8. It wasn't clear where the wine was really sent. Mr. Prigozhin, a former caterer for President Vladimir Putin, has been embroiled in an open conflict with Russia's Ministry of Defense, attacking Russia's top brass as incompetent and accusing the military leadership of withholding artillery ammunition from his men. On Sunday, he complained that, while the ministry apparently gave orders to increase ammunition supplies to his troops on February 23, most of those shells haven't been shipped. We are trying to find out the reasons. Is it ordinary bureaucracy or treason? Mr. Prigozhin said in a social media post. Separately on Monday, Rusich, a subunit of Wagner, posted a video to its Telegram channel appearing to show the execution of a Ukrainian prisoner of war. In the video, the soldier says, "Glory to Ukraine," before he is mowed down by gunfire. Mr. Zelensky promised on Monday night to find the killers. The executed soldier hasn't been identified so far. With much of the eastern Ukrainian countryside turning into viscous mud as temperatures have risen, even treaded vehicles have to stick to roads, while SUVs and wheeled armored vehicles often sink in impassable fields, a factor that complicates both sides' military calculations. Ukraine says it is planning a wide-scale spring offensive once the ground dries up, hoping to regain some of the roughly 18% of Ukrainian land that Moscow